Remember when we thought toilet paper shortages were wild? Well, hold on to your shopping carts because what we're experiencing now makes that look like a walk in the park. Buckle up because 2025 just threw us a curveball. The Great Egg Crisis. Yes, you heard that right. Eggs are the new gold. We're not talking about a slight price hike here. We're talking about prices that make you do a double take and wonder if you're in some kind of bizarre alternate reality. We're talking empty shelves, panicked shoppers, and omelet dreams going up in smoke. It's like a scene straight out of a dystopian movie, but it's happening right now. The humble egg, a breakfast staple and baking essential, has become a luxury good practically overnight. Who would have thought that something so simple could become so scarce? Remember those carefree days of $2 dozens? Yeah, those are gone. It feels like just yesterday we were taking eggs for granted, and now they're a hot commodity. We're now facing double-digit prices for a carton of eggs, and in some areas you're lucky to even find them. It's like a treasure hunt. But instead of gold, you're searching for eggs. What in the world is going on? How did we get here? It's a question on everyone's mind as they stare at the empty shelves and sky-high prices. How did we go from plentiful protein to poultry pandemonium? The answer lies in a perfect storm of factors that have come together to create this crisis. Let's crack this thing open and see what's really going on. From supply chain disruptions to avian flu outbreaks, we'll explore the reasons behind this egg-citing predicament and what it means for our breakfast tables. The blame game is in full swing, as it always is when basic necessities become unaffordable. Some are pointing fingers at good old-fashioned panic buying. Remember the early days of the pandemic when everyone thought they needed a year's supply of toilet paper? Yeah, it seems like we haven't learned our lesson. As news of rising egg prices and potential shortages spread, people started hoarding eggs. This, of course, only made the problem worse. Supermarkets couldn't restock shelves fast enough, further fueling the panic. But hold on, because panic buying is only part of the problem. This egg shortage has deeper roots, and they lead us to a less familiar culprit, avian influenza. Yes, you heard that right. Bird flu, specifically a highly contagious strain of avian influenza, has been decimating poultry flocks across the globe. Millions of chickens, the egg-laying champions of the world, have been culled to contain the outbreak. This isn't just some random act of nature, folks. This is the consequence of our industrialized food system, where animals are crammed together in inhumane conditions, making them incredibly vulnerable to disease outbreaks. The bottom line is this: when millions of chickens are taken out of commission, the egg supply takes a massive hit. Add to that the pre-existing supply chain issues that have been plaguing us since, well, forever, and you've got yourself a recipe for an egg crisis. Let's face it, the journey from farm to fridge has always been a bit of a mess. From the moment an egg is laid, it embarks on a complex journey that involves multiple steps and numerous hands. Farmers collect the eggs, sort them, and prepare them for transport. It's a delicate process that requires precision and care. But throw in a global pandemic, a war in Europe, and now a bird flu outbreak, and you've got a supply chain that's about as stable as a Jenga tower built on a roller coaster. The pandemic disrupted labor forces and closed borders, making it difficult to maintain the usual flow of goods. The war in Europe has further strained international trade routes, and the bird flu outbreak has decimated poultry populations, leading to shortages and skyrocketing prices. Labor shortages, rising fuel costs, and transportation bottlenecks are all contributing to the existential crisis we're facing. Truck drivers are protesting for better wages and working conditions, while fuel prices continue to climb, making transportation more expensive. Congested highways and logistical hubs filled with idle trucks and containers only add to the chaos, creating delays and increasing costs. It's not just about the eggs themselves, it's about getting them from point A to point B without breaking the bank, or the eggs for that matter. Each step in the supply chain adds complexity and cost. Workers must carefully load eggs into trucks, ensuring they are handled with care to prevent breakage. Delivery trucks then navigate congested roads to transport the eggs to warehouses, where they are stored and eventually distributed to retail stores. And let's not forget about the middlemen. Wholesalers and supply centers play a crucial role in negotiating prices and ensuring that eggs are distributed efficiently. These middlemen must balance supply and demand, often dealing with fluctuating prices and limited availability. Their role is essential in maintaining the flow of eggs from producers to consumers. Processing plants, distributors, and retailers all play a role in getting those eggs to your plate, and each step adds to the final cost. In processing plants, eggs are cleaned, sorted, and packaged for distribution. Distributors then load cartons of eggs into vehicles, ensuring they are transported safely to retail stores. Retail workers organize the eggs on store shelves, making them available for purchase. Each of these steps involves labor, transportation, and handling costs, all of which contribute to the price you pay at the checkout. The price we pay exorbitant costs for consumers. The rising cost of eggs has become a significant concern for many households across the country. As we delve into this issue, let's explore the impact on the average consumer and the broader implications for our daily lives. So, what does this all mean for the average consumer? In a word, ouch. The sticker shock at the grocery store is real and it's hitting everyone hard. Shoppers are finding themselves in a tough spot, having to navigate through aisles filled with inflated prices. Remember that $2 carton of eggs? Kiss it goodbye. Those days are long gone, and now consumers are facing prices that seem to climb higher with each passing week. It's a stark reminder of how quickly things can change in the world of food economics. We're now looking at prices that would make your wallet cluck in terror. The financial strain is palpable, and it's causing many to rethink their shopping habits. Every trip to the store feels like a new challenge, with budgets being stretched to their limits. For families already struggling with inflation and rising food costs, this egg crisis is no joke. It's adding another layer of stress to an already difficult situation. Parents are having to make tough decisions about what to buy and what to leave behind, often sacrificing essentials to make ends meet. It's putting a strain on budgets, forcing people to make tough choices about what they can and cannot afford to put on the table. The ripple effect is being felt in every corner of the grocery store, with consumers having to prioritize their purchases more than ever before. And it's not just breakfast that's affected. Eggs are a staple in many households, and their absence is being felt far and wide. From morning meals to baking and beyond, the impact is undeniable. Eggs are a key ingredient in countless recipes, from cakes and cookies to pasta and sauces. Their versatility in the kitchen makes them indispensable, and the rising costs are forcing home cooks and professional chefs alike to adapt and find alternatives. So, get ready for the ripple effect to hit your favorite baked goods and restaurant menus. The shortage and high prices of eggs are leading to changes in recipes, menu items, and even the availability of certain products. It's a challenging time for the food industry, and consumers are feeling the pinch at every turn. Retailers on edge, walking on eggshells in the grocery aisle. It's not just consumers feeling the heat. Retailers are caught in the middle of this egg-splosion, trying to balance supply and demand while also keeping customers happy, or at least not rioting in the aisles. Some stores have resorted to rationing eggs, limiting the number of cartons customers can buy. Others are facing backlash for price gouging, as accusations fly about who's profiting from this crisis. The truth is, everyone's feeling the squeeze. Retailers are struggling to secure reliable supplies of eggs, and the increased costs are being passed down to consumers. It's a vicious cycle, and there's no easy solution in sight. Expert opinions: can we unscramble this mess? So, what do the experts have to say about this whole egg extravaganza? Well, they're not exactly optimistic. While some believe that the bird flu outbreak will eventually subside and egg production will rebound, others warn that this is just a taste of what's to come. Climate change, they argue, is making these kinds of disease outbreaks more frequent and severe. Our reliance on large-scale industrial farming practices is only making us more vulnerable. The solution, they say, is to rethink our entire food system. We need to move away from factory farming and towards more sustainable, ethical, and resilient models of food production. The future of food: lessons learned from the Great Egg Crisis. The Great Egg Crisis of 2025 might seem like a quirky blip in the grand scheme of things, but it's actually a canary in the coal mine. It's a stark reminder of how fragile our food system is and how interconnected it is to global events. This crisis should serve as a wake-up call. We need to start investing in alternative protein sources, supporting local farmers, and promoting sustainable agricultural practices. The future of food depends on it. So there you have it. The Great Egg Crisis of 2025, a story of panic buying, bird flu, and a food system on the brink. It's a story that highlights the fragility of our supply chains, the consequences of our industrial farming practices, and the very real impact of these issues on everyday people. Let's hope we can learn from this experience and start making changes before the next crisis hits. Because who knows what staple food item will be next on the chopping block? Milk, bread, coffee. Stay tuned, folks. This wild ride isn't over yet.